Most of us think the fight is over the second we win. We cross that finish line, we get the promotion, we hit the goal, and we just relax. But according to David Goggins, that is the exact moment the real war actually begins. So let's get into this really powerful idea. I mean, really think about it for a second. What happens after the victory lap? After everyone's patting you on the back? The world tells you, hey, celebrate, you earned it. But Goggins asks a totally different and honestly, a much more unsettling question. And right here, this is the core of the problem. Praise makes you comfortable, success makes you soft. That amazing feeling of accomplishment, it can literally put your inner drive, what he calls your inner savage, right to sleep. It stops you from doing the one thing that got you there in the first place, the grind. So this brings us to the whole philosophy of his book, Never Finished. See, life isn't just a series of goals you check off a list. It's a constant, relentless war against our own deep desire for comfort and for ease. And that war, it's never more dangerous than right after you've just won a big battle. Yeah, let's be super clear about this. Goggins isn't giving you a few simple tips for self-improvement. He's demanding a total rewiring of your mind. His point is that for people who are truly stuck, just improving a little bit, that's not enough. You need a complete system reboot. Just look at this breakdown. It perfectly captures two completely different ways of seeing the world. On the left, you've got the default for most of us, the survival mindset. It's all about getting to the finish line so you can finally stop running. But then, on the right, that's the Goggins philosophy, perpetual evolution. It's not about winning, it's about constantly becoming something more. In this mindset, pain isn't something you avoid, it's fuel. And success? It's not a place to rest, it's a signal to get even more vigilant. Okay, so how do you actually do this, right? How do you fight this war? Well, according to Goggins, it all happens in a place he calls the mental lab. Now, this isn't some place you can go to. It's a private, internal training ground inside your own mind. It's where you go to be totally alone with your thoughts, to take apart all your weaknesses, and to build, piece by piece, the person you actually want to become. Think of it like a boot camp for your brain. And one of the key strategies in this lab is to split your own identity. There's David, the insecure kid who's scared, who feels the pain, the voice that's always begging to just quit. And then there's Goggins, the alter ego, the savage, the enforcer. And this isn't just a mind game. It's a real tactic to compartmentalize your weakness so you can dominate it with a stronger identity that you built on purpose. All right, so we've got the big philosophy. Now let's get into the actual tactics. These are the tools Goggins uses to win those moment-to-moment battles that happen inside his own head. First up is something called the 1-second decision. Goggins says that life, a lot like Navy SEAL Hell Week, is won or lost in just a few seconds. When that overwhelming urge to quit just slams into you, you have 1 second to change the outcome. You literally stop. You take a mental knee to calm the panic. You visualize the crushing regret of quitting. And then you make a logical, not emotional, decision to stay in the fight. To win that 1-second battle, you have to know your enemy, which is your own weak inner voice. And Goggins has this brutal but really effective method for exposing just how pathetic that voice truly is. He calls it the self-talk audit. The next time you want to give up, take out your phone and record yourself saying every single excuse out loud. Whine, complain, make the full case for why you should quit. Then, play it back. When you hear that voice totally detached from the emotion of the moment, you'll realize how weak and ridiculous it sounds. And that feeling, that cringe, that disgust, that becomes the very fuel you need to get back to work. So these tools, they help you win the small battles. But winning those battles over and over again does something incredible. It lets you completely smash through what you thought your limits were. And this brings us to what is probably Goggins' most famous concept. 40%. This number should change how you view every single challenge for the rest of your life. The 40% rule from Goggins is simple, but it is so profound. When your mind is screaming at you that you're done, that you have nothing left, you're really only at about 40% of your actual capacity. This is not a metaphor. Your brain has a built-in safety governor, and it's designed to protect you by making you feel exhausted long before you actually are. It will always give up before your body does. And you can see this rule in brutal action right here. During one of the toughest ultramarathons on the planet, Goggins' heart literally started failing. He ended up in the hospital. For anybody else, that's it. Game over. But for Goggins, it was just the first attempt. He didn't see failure, he saw data. data that he could analyze for his next run. He completely redefined what it means to fail. So what does all of this add up to? I mean, it's not just about running insane distances or surviving Hell Week. It's about a completely new kind of leadership. What Goggins is arguing is that real leadership isn't about telling other people what to do. It's about leading yourself first. It's about setting an internal standard so high that your actions all by themselves inspire other people. And to do that, you need to be guided by your own principles, not by what other people think. You have to write your own mission statement. This is a piece of Goggins' own personal oath. It's not a goal, it's a code he lives by. It's a declaration of the standard he holds himself to every single day, no matter how he feels. It's his compass. And that leaves us with the last, and maybe the most important question. Not what David Goggins' oath is, but what's yours? In a world that pushes comfort and pretty much accepts mediocrity, what standard are you going to set for yourself? What is the war that you need to win?